Okay, so what I'm going to show you tonight is a drink that is cinnamon honey. Is what I call my tea. So what you do is you take a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Now you can use this cinnamon, which is the McCormick, which is why I bought, just because I didn't want to have to run out to another store. I just bought it at the neighborhood grocery store. So what I done already is took just a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and I just, you know, put it right here in my cup. And then you take 1 cup of hot water. Or you can put it in the microwave for about a minute, minute and a half. Usually about a minute and a half is good enough. But I have a water cooler, so I get my hot water straight from it, and just let that sit, and let that get to be room temperature. And it usually takes about 30 minutes. This is the other cinnamon that I generally use. I get this at Aldi's for $1.99, and this is organic. So, but McCormick does not say it's organic or anything like that. But like I said, I just buy it locally because I didn't want to have to catch the bus out. But with this cinnamon honey mixture, what it does is it helps you boost your immune system. It helps with your blood sugar levels, because it can lower them. It can also help you lose weight. It helps fight infections. So and I've been doing this off and on now for about 5 years. About 3 years ago I was doing this, and I lost 30 pounds, but I was also doing a lot of walking then, and now that I'm back here, there's no place for me to really walk, and I don't feel safe out here walking. So generally, like I said, this is a cup of water, 1 cup. Sometimes I just guess, and maybe a half cup to 3/4 of a cup sometimes. So like I said, you let that sit to get room temperature. But what you do is you can drink this in the morning. You can fix like a half a cup. Drink this in the morning, 30 minutes before you eat. So what I do is I come in, I get this fixed up, and then I go hop in the shower. And then after I get dressed, I come back, I finish it up, and I will go and take my medication with it. So I have my morning meds, I have my night meds, and this is what I use for those meds. So the other thing I want to tell you is this is a honey that I buy, and I used to get this in a little town of where the Amish lives, and this is made right here in my state, and that's what you need. You need locally grown honey, not honey sauce. I wouldn't recommend buying those in the store, but you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But as long as it is organic honey, and like I said, you really need it locally grown as much as you can. Now, like I said, this is 2 pounds of honey. This is a quart jar. I pay like $2-3 more here at my neighborhood grocery store, but than I do in the Amish community. But just because I can't get to the Amish community, I pay the $3 for this. So anyway, this 2 pounds, it says 2 pounds 13 ounces, and this will pretty much last me for a month. So you need, those are the 2 main things. Now, one other thing that I learned, but let me go back to this honey. You do not want to put this honey in hot water. It's got to be room temperature. Do not put it in boiling water, because if you do that, then you lose all the nutrients that's in your honey. Your honey is a natural agent, and it's got a lot of nutrition value to it, and it's a good fighter for your immune system. So by all means, if you put it in boiling water or you boil it, it's no good. It's just sugar after that. So that's the one tip I have learned. The other thing that I use, now you can just leave it at this, cinnamon, honey, that's it. But you can also add other things as well. But this is Bragg's apple cider vinegar, and I'll show you what I do with this when I'm ready to fix it at the end. I just put a capful in, which is probably about a teaspoon. This also helps with sinus infections, any nasal flu symptoms. It also helps with fighting fat, basically, weight loss. So anyway, I'm gonna shut this off for now. Let this sit and cool to get to room temperature, and we'll be back to finish it up. Okay, so I didn't really like the second half of what I did the other night when I made this recipe, so I'm doing it again this morning. So I've already had my cinnamon and water, and like this is about what I do, so I don't know. It's probably 3/4 of a cup, and this is what I do every day. So what I'm going to do is add the Bragg's apple cider vinegar, and what I do is just 1 capful, which is probably about a teaspoon. So because that's really about all I can handle, and it's still enough to do. I think that's really what all the recipes are calling for. But what the apple, and you really need this one instead versus the Heinz, because this is better for you, because this is natural, and this is what they call, it's got the mother in it. This will help with your sinuses. It helps with weight loss. I mean, and there's more benefits to it. So I would really recommend this to drink daily, because this is one of my testimonies. I had a sinus infection, and it got so bad where I was having some really bad dizzy spells. So last spring I was doing the same thing, but I had to go on antibiotics, and this time I didn't want to go on antibiotics. So I learned that if you use the apple cider vinegar, if you eat this daily, that will help with your sinus infection. So I started that probably about 3 weeks ago, adding it back into my tea, and I'm doing much better. Very seldom do I have a dizzy spell, and it's basically, it's just your sinuses are all dried up. So that's on that one. So anyway, we're going to add the honey, and this I get at the local grocery store. You're supposed to add like a tablespoon of this, but I just kind of guesstimate. And if I put about maybe two teaspoons, full teaspoons, I should say over full. Make sure you clean off the lid, otherwise when you put on the other lid, it'll get stuck. But this honey, this is from Prairie's, and this is made down in Alva, Illinois. I've gotten this over in the Amish community, but it's here in my neighborhood grocery store. So I pay a couple dollars more for it at the neighborhood grocery store, so because I can't get down to the Amish community. But honey is really good for you. It's got a lot of natural ingredients. I mean, it is natural, but what I'm saying, it's got the nutrients are very good for your body. And let me tell you one no-no that I have learned. You do not put honey in boiling water. Honey has to be used at room temperature, because if you put it in boiling water, you're going to lose the nutrients. And that's not what you want. You need the nutrients in the honey, because it's got a lot of health benefits for you. But if you, I mean, I've used it in cooking for like cookies and cakes, because I cook a lot of those from scratch, because it's just natural sugar, and so like I said, it's much better for you than, you know, if you're going to use sugar. If you can substitute honey, great. But I think I pay like $17 for this. This is 2 pounds, and a quart jar is just 2 pounds. I did not know until about a year ago that honey is sold by the pound. But anyway, do not use honey in boiling water. Do not put it in your hot tea, because you just lose the nutrients, and that's what you need. So you use it at room temperature. Okay, so I've got everything in here. I got my cinnamon, I got my honey, and I got my apple cider in here. So what I do is I just stir this up, and I drink it all. I do not strain it, because the cinnamon is what I need. So I mean, if you can see how that is turning out, just drink it all. Like I said, the apple cider, it gives it a kick. So kind of like a whiskey kick in a way sometimes, you know, if you've never had whiskey. But yeah, it's still good. It's still good. I can tolerate this versus the turmeric, which I'll give you a tutorial on the turmeric. But that's it. I just take this in the morning, 30 minutes before I eat. And what I do is I go take my medication, and I drink this with my medication, because I have medication I cannot eat until after 30 minutes after I take it. So I take this one time in the morning, like I said, 30 minutes before you eat, and then I'll fix another one of these at night before I go to bed, and that's the last thing I have before I go to bed. This helps you with your blood sugar levels. It helps with like I said, sinus infections. It helps boost your immune system. It helps with weight loss. I mean, it's got a lot of health benefits to it. So if you can do this, I would really recommend this. The other thing about the honey I would recommend is make sure it is pure honey. It is organic honey. That is not a honey sauce. There is what they call a honey sauce, and you do not want that. You want pure honey. You can any kind of pure honey you can use. So that is my tutorial on how I make my cinnamon honey and apple cider tea. Have a good day.